Tonight's show is sponsored by Mack Weldon. Go to mackweldon.com/CAGcast, promo code CAGcast for 20% off.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CAGcast episode number 692. I'm your host, GBD, here in Long Island, New York. And as always, we're joined by a man who also has his and hers solid state drives, Wombat.
Solid snake drives?
State.
Solid snake steaks?
I had to decide whether it would be better to say SS. What would be more awkward, to say SSD or solid state drives?
I got that
SSD. You can't
SSD.
win, really.
I got that SSD.
At least you got the reference.
Yeah. I like sloppy steak drives.
We'll be making fun of that later in the show, so don't worry.
Okay. Yeah. Sloppy steaks.
Welcome to the show. Don't start breaking up.
I was a real asshole when I played on my PlayStation. We used to go down to Super Biryani's and get the sloppy steak drives. I had a sloppy steak drive and my wife had a sloppy steak drive, and we would swap them out, so we had different games.
You can't just do I think you should leave.
But I was a real piece of shit.
Do you know the name of the restaurant where the old guy who was a piece of shit went to eat?
I couldn't even remember the restaurant that he went to.
Chicken,
I just kind of made it.
To eat the chicken pasta?
Where was it? What was it?
Ciccolini's.
How many times have you watched that?
Only once or twice, but I just thought that was
once or twice or
Ciccolini's is very funny.
All of that is very funny.
Okay, now for some other bits from I Think You Should Leave.
I let my son watch the tables bit, the driver's ed tables.
Oh, okay.
And that's a reference that comes up a lot in the house now that my wife and daughter have no idea what we're talking about.
I let Ty watch the whole season.
Yeah, I'm sure he enjoyed it. Yeah, but he's almost 14.
You know what's interesting is that I've learned that I inadvertently curse so much around the house that it's completely turned Ty off to cursing.
Mm-hmm.
And I never hear him curse at all.
Same with my kids. They hate hearing the expletives because when I'm in the house, I don't care.
Cause like we're at Ping Pod today, and like it's a bad habit. I'll miss a shot and I'll just be like, fuck. And I feel bad not just because he's there, but there's other people playing too. They don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear that fucking shit from this motherfucker.
Yes. No fucking bad language in this goddamn piece of shit show.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we started the show off with a exclusive highlights from Ty and I's trip to the city today, where we went to Ping Pod and had a wonderful 2 hours of table tennis, condensed down to 8 minutes of highlights for your viewing pleasure. That's what you get if you come into the show early. But meanwhile, you haven't taken the train in a while, Wombat, right?
No, we're going into the city on the 14th.
I'm just going to prepare you now. There may be assholes, maskless assholes. So MTA, the rule is you have to wear a mask on the train, any public transport, and inside a station. So we're on the train going into the city. 6 to 8 guys get on the train, and none of them have masks. The train is like, medium crowded. None of them have masks. They all sit down like together in like their own area. And I'm just like, this is not going to be good. This is going to be a problem. The train continues to get more crowded. The conductor comes, doesn't say anything to the guys. And in fact, the main guy who's like, they're like, I don't want to like make this like a cultural thing, but the guy was either speaking Hebrew or some other Middle Eastern language. It was probably Hebrew.
Did you go to school for that?
I don't even know. I had like headphones on, and the whole situation was making me angry. Like I'm sure Wombat, if Wombat sees a maskless guy on the train when he goes to the city soon, you're going to get angry, right, Wombat? Is that your first?
I am also, because when I go into the city, and now I'm wondering maybe I just drive in because I'm going to have my son with me and he's not vaccinated.
I'm just going to tell you, prepare for assholes. So the guy's no one's wearing a mask in this group. The conductor comes to check the tickets. Not only is the guy not wearing a mask when the conductor comes, he starts like joking with the conductor, like, hey, maybe I don't need to show my ticket today. Isn't it like no show day or something? Just like in my opinion, showing like, hey, not only am I not going to wear a mask where everybody else on the train is, I'm going to like do this thing with the conductor where like I'm just an asshole into his face and he's not going to do anything about it. Right? So the conductor doesn't do anything about it and walks away. You know, he checks the guy's ticket and leaves. And the guy behind me says, what, none of these guys, when the conductor comes to check his ticket, he goes, what, none of these guys have masks, can afford masks? And the conductor goes, oh yeah. And he turns around and walks back and he goes, guys, you know, you have to wear a mask on the train, blah, blah, blah. And this like the main guy was like, yeah, he was a big baby, right? He was gonna make a big deal about it. Other people like start to put the mask on, the other guys with him, but this guy wasn't gonna do it. And then I notice later, as the train gets more and more crowded, the woman behind him starts yelling at him. I had my headphones on because I was getting angry just watching this, and I knew something was gonna happen. And I'm like, I'm just looking to have fun, and I got my headphones, and I see there's something going on. And when I take the headphones off, the woman's like scolding him, and the guy's like, you're so rude. How do you not know? Maybe my mask was stolen. I have no mask. I mean, you're so rude. And, you know, he's like a baby. Like this guy's like a 50, 60-year-old guy, like
So
acting
an
like an 11-year-old.
An older man from Long Island, yes.
And
that description fits, yes.
And like just like such an asshole about it. And the woman, as soon as she says that, the woman pulls out a mask for him. It's like, here's a mask right here. I got one for you. And he's like, I'm not taking your mask. And that's my weird Middle Eastern accent that you can't tell what country it's from. But and I was just like, oh my God, this is just like so like all the kids are wearing masks. Like everybody, this guy just wants to be like, he's just, and I went from being angry to like feeling like embarrassed for his, like all the people that were with him. Like he's probably like that all the time about everything. He's a huge asshole, and all of his friends and family just are putting up with it at all times. So I'm like, I just embarrassed for the guy. So now we're getting to Penn Station, and when the train pulls into a crowded train pulls into the station, everybody's got to sort of stand up and get into the aisle and then get out of the train. Perfect time for a confrontation with some maskless assholes. And I noticed, like, right before the train pulls into Penn Station, the guy, without saying anything or doing anything, the main guy gets up and just walks out of the train car while the train is moving into the next train car and just like exited from some other train car because he was such a pussy that he couldn't even handle like the old lady behind him yelling at him when he got to Penn Station. He bailed right then and there.
I hate everybody.
I know. It was so so I'm just saying, get ready for that. Like that. And I've seen other, Mississippi was on the train the other day. Not only did the guy have no mask on, he was vaping on the train. I showed you the picture. I sent you the picture.
You showed me the picture. Yeah. I'm like, ugh. My son really wants to go to the Natural History Museum.
Which is awesome.
Yes, which is awesome. That's not the question. He really wants to go. My wife and daughter are going to Colorado next weekend for an affair. And
she's having an affair?
Yeah, she's
in
having
Colorado?
No, a bat mitzvah.
Oh.
And her best friend's daughter's bat mitzvah. Yeah, exactly.
I was going to burp really loud, but I thought it'd be disrespectful. So
they're flying to Colorado for that. So it's just me and Elliot. We're like, oh, this is the perfect time. We'll go to the Natural History Museum that weekend. But I'm sort of like afraid that everyone is.
The train is not going to be a good situation. I'm telling you now.
Yeah, because again, he's 10. He can't get a vaccine. But
right.
if everyone on the planet wasn't such a big gaping wound of an ass, and got vaccines like they're supposed to, then I wouldn't have to worry about this nonsense.
The other problem is there's a lot of there's guys injecting themselves with drugs on the street now.
Not vaccines?
Not vaccines, unfortunately. The wrong things. They should be.
They should give those guys.
There should be free heroin in a tent, and we come in and we give you the vaccine. And heroin. We'll give you heroin too. Why not? Yeah. That's a good idea, actually. Free heroin with the vaccine. I warned.
Didn't they used to do drugs for guns? Wasn't that a thing that happened?
No,
once?
money for guns.
I know they did money for
guns. They never gave out drugs when you gave in guns.
I feel like wasn't that like a thing once?
Maybe a gang in a movie, like some gang.
I don't know. I could be making that. Could have been like a comedian's bit that literally just fell in my brain. That's a thing that happens. So
I warned Ty, when we go into the city, especially where this ping pod is, I've seen people shooting up several times. And like, I just like told Ty, if you see some weird shit, just don't stare at it, because that's going to make the people upset and they're going to potentially come at you. So just understand there may be some potential for some bad stuff. Try not to stare at it. And we're just, we're going to move by it quickly. Everything's going to be fine. So, and this time I tried to take a safer route. Like Wombat knows that area very well. So he could probably think of an area from Penn Station, just going up north to Times Square, to try to avoid like the most scary spots. But we walk up 7th Avenue, like, right, Wombat? 7th Avenue is relatively like pretty good. Like,
yeah, if you're going to Times Square, you want to walk up 7th or east of that. You don't want to go west.
I fucked that up a couple of times by myself. I realize that now.
I remember, and I'm going back like 11, 12 years. My walk to work, because before my office moved, was along 8th Avenue in the teens. And I would walk it from Penn Station. I would walk 8th Avenue from the 30s to the teens.
Yeah.
And in the morning, 8th Avenue in Manhattan, it was so depressing. Every morning. I mean, it was just like you said, just people with needles and there was always a woman crying. It didn't matter
right,
what day it was.
No.
There's that. Have you watched John Mulaney and the Sack Lunch Bunch?
No.
They do a whole song on white ladies crying on the street in Manhattan. And that's for those who have seen it and aren't aware, that's a real thing.
It is a real thing.
It is a real thing.
You know what else is a real thing?
What?
Weed World. You know about Weed World?
No, what is Weed World?
Because we walked by it and Ty asked me about Weed World.
Oh, you mean the store on 7th Avenue? It's still there.
Right. It's still, so it started off as like a giant like an RV, I guess you would call it, that would sort of park in Times Square.
Food truck.
It's bigger. And it said, well, maybe not. Maybe they've upgraded.
That sold food. That's a food truck.
Right. So it says like they pretend.
Didn't say small or
I'm
large.
sorry. I shouldn't have corrected you. They pretend like they're selling weed, but they're really selling lollipops that have like weed names. Mm-hmm. Right? Because you can't sell weed in Manhattan, even though weed is legal now. Anyway, so we walked by Weed World and Ty's like, "What's Weed World? What's going?" And he's like, and I was like, "Oh," and I had to explain, like, basically it's a scam. It's a scam that sells lollipops that's supposed to, people think they're buying lollipops that have weed in them, but they're just expensive lollipops.
I thought they had CBD in them.
They don't even, it was before that even happened. Like they had that truck that you're talking about, like was well before the CBD created. And CBD is not mentioned anywhere on there.
They were like weed flavored lollipops.
Right. Exactly.
Not for children. It would say in big letters, not for children.
Anyway, I explained to Ty, like, look, these guys are just holding on.
Not for children.
They're
children?
No,
they're not. Okay, let's try this again.
They actually are, because they're just lollipops.
Are not for children.
They're just lollipops with sugar in them. That's it. Regular lollipops. Anyway, it'll eventually be a weed store, probably like next year, I'm guessing, or whenever they figure it out. Soon enough. I told Ty, don't worry.
When Kathy Hochul is the governor, then everything will change.
Well, Cuomo got the weed legalized, so you got to at least hand him that. But it's to cover up his scandal. His scandals.
Exactly. When he's out in about 2 weeks and Kathy's in.
Right.
I have faith in Kathy.
Right. I got another good story for you. I had a busy week, Shipwreck. Shipwreck, did you have anything interesting happen?
I rode some roller coasters.
By yourself?
Did you go to Kings Island?
Yeah. Well, not always by myself. There was other people on them.
Is that where you told the guy, hey,
no, I didn't go by myself.
Can you take that disco ball and make it into a shirt for me? Did that happen at Kings Island too?
That's a nice shirt. It's like digital camouflage with a collar, so you can wear it at business affairs.
Well, it costs so much because the pattern is so complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
that's where I go for. I go for the most complicated pattern.
It's another. I think you should
the most on a shirt.
You know that. I think you should leave bit.
No.
Oh, that's the whole bit. That the more complicated the patterns are, the more expensive the shirt is.
The shirt.
That's true.
Right. Dan Flashes.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Flashes. Thank you. I couldn't remember the name.
At the shops at the creek.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I didn't go to Kings Island by myself.
Oh,
my kids aren't big enough to ride the biggest roller coasters.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
I went on the new one that opened this I guess it opened last year at Kings Island, but I
Nobody
didn't go to
noticed.
Kings Island last year.
Right.
No, it's the first Giga Coaster at Kings Island.
What does that mean?
That means it has a drop of over 300 feet.
Is it bigger than King de Ka? The one
No.
in Great? No, okay. My daughter went on that yesterday for the first time.
But that one, it's just up and down, right? Like it's not anything that exciting.
I
It's
don't
just very
know.
fast.
I believe so. She went on that. She went on Nitro, and she went on Superman, and she went on Green Lantern.
Yeah, see, I'm not a. So Orion's another one of these big ones. I think it tops out like 91 miles an hour, which is fast. It's fast. To
How
be
fast
strapped
is the
to
Giga
a-
one?
Right.
How
No,
fast was that?
King Dakar or whatever.
The one that
one's
you
called?
went on. The one you
That was
went on.
91.
Oh, that's
91
the
miles an hour.
Orion.
Yeah, that's Orion.
King de Ka is still the fastest roller coaster in the United States.
Yeah, I think it's like
King of
120,
Cock?
124 miles an hour, I think. Is that right?
128 miles per
28.
hour.
That's a fast cock. I can see why it's the king.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy those rides, but I don't like all of them are just all about the speed and going as fast as you can, because if you try to do a loop going those speeds, you just black out everybody. Yeah, so
That's when you take their wallets, because nobody's buying the pictures anymore at the end of the roller coaster. So you got to like have the change come out of their pockets.
mhm. I get those, but I buy the season pass to get all the ride photos.
I bought my tickets this week for Dutch Wonderland, so I'm all ready for
Nice.
that amusement park.
See, I would like that amusement park. I think I like wooden roller coasters and roller coasters that do a lot of loops. Those are my type of roller coaster.
It has the one wooden roller coaster, which isn't bad. It's tame, but it's still fun. And it has one metal roller coaster that I do not believe has any loops. So, yeah. So I don't know if you would love it. Your kids would have a very fine time there, though.
I find the wooden ones scarier than the modern ones, because I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like the wooden ones could fall apart, or I'll hit my head on something or my arm.
See, that's what I'm looking for. I'm
I
looking for
like-
something to shake me like crazy while I'm on it.
I like when they have
Like
the
we have
little
ones that,
hills.
it's like 55 miles an hour, but it seems like it's completely out of control.
Right. It's thinking
Like
just-
that's much better than the like smooth as silk, like 91 miles an hour.
No, I don't like that.
I went
like
on the
the- I-
Cyclone.
I like the safe one.
I think it was 2 years ago. I went on the Cyclone for the first time ever. And for those who don't know, that is what, like the first roller coaster.
Yeah, I've
in the
been on
United
that one. It was
States?
fucking terrifying. I thought
Yeah,
my
they-
head was coming off at every
It's
fucking
like
every turn.
you sit in and you think you're sitting in a roller coaster car, but it's like a lawn chair with a front, and it's made out of wood, and you can see the knot holes in the wood, and it sways in the wind. So it's got that going for it.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That's good design.
Bad design. Oh, so check this out. So I'm walking home from the grocery the other day, and I see a guy pushing a baby stroller up the hill that I live on, really steep hill.
Mhm.
And we pass like sort of right in front of my house, and I say to him, I say something like "good luck" or something, because steep hill and all that shit. And he says something like, "Oh, I do this all the time, so it's like no problem." And then he says, "Oh, by the way, like I'm a big fan," and often like I have people stop me in front of the house, and they love the house. I live in like this modern mid-century modern house, and people often stop in front of it and look at it and tell me, and then I have a whole spiel that I give them when I talk to them. So guy says that, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, thanks a lot." And I, in fact, we bought like a plaque that we were going to put up to like have some information about the house, and I started to mention the plaque, and I see like the guy like had no fucking clue what I was talking about, no interest in what I was talking about, because he was talking about he's a big fan of the CAGcast.
Weird.
What? I thought you were gonna say, and he thought I was that soccer player again.
No.
It's someone that actually said, "Wow, you look a lot like GBD," and you were like, "I know."
No, it was funny because he's like, "I don't know, like if anyone ever stops you." He said, "I don't know if anyone ever stops you, but I'm a big fan." And I said, "Actually, people stop me all the time because they, and I wind up telling them about the house. So like I have, and then I realized that he wasn't talking about the house, and
Who was it?
his name is Tom.
Tom. Hi, Tom.
He's a fellow engineer, Shipwreck.
Oh,
He's
nice.
a flavor engineer.
Oh, an engineer of flavors.
Yes.
What is a
Yes.
flavor engineer,
That's a
Tom?
chemical engineer that makes
he-
your food taste like stuff that it's not.
I know, but like, where's my bag of food?
Yes, Wombat survives on flavor engineering.
Seriously. I want to know what flavors I can attribute to Tom. So, Tom, if you're listening,
Yeah, I know the answer, but he probably doesn't want that.
I
out
want to
there.
know when I can eat something and say to my children,
Or drink something.
you know, one of our show listeners made this.
This
cookies and
drink doesn't
cream.
really have bacon in it.
But do you know why it tastes like it? Thanks to food engineers like Tom.
Flavor engineers.
Flavor engineers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really funny.
They
Because I
can't,
had this whole
can't be classified as food.
Right. I have a whole spiel that I give about the house that I'm, because does happen way more frequently than people saying I'm a CAGcast fan. He especially said he likes when Shipwreck busts on Wombat, or like we're learning sort of new things about Wombat. And I brought up the fact that he'd seen every episode of Saturday Night Live, and we didn't know
things
we
like
didn't
that.
we didn't know that until recently.
Yeah. Or like that I watch Jeopardy every day.
You do?
Yeah, every day.
That's not in your TV tally that you tell us about.
Because it doesn't count.
Is that a true thing? Or are you just making a joke? Do you really watch Jeopardy every day? And is every day 5 days or 7 days?
I don't know if it's every day. I'm not
How
going to
many
say
days
that
per
every
week?
day.
How many days per week?
I mean, I would say minimum 3.
Okay.
Minimum 3 out of 5.
Just one episode, or are you like?
I watch one episode
Okay.
5 times a week. Yeah, no.
No,
I'm
I
watching-
mean, like, I don't know how you consume Jeopardy on like the fresh ones or the
yeah,
repeats.
the new episode. There's a new
Okay.
episode on every day.
Yeah,
And
Now,
it's
do you
usually
also watch The
on-
Wheel then?
No, I don't watch Wheel.
because you don't
Yes.
like Pat Sajak, right?
That is a part of it.
He's too right wing
That-
for you.
Yeah, a little bit. So I watched the Jeopardy. I'm watching the guy on it now, like totally run the board. I keep forgetting his name, but he's insane. He's like an insane Jeopardy player. That's how I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
And this guy, like, the game starts off and everyone feels like they're on even footing. And then, like, by the end of the first round, he's winning by like 4 times what the other contestants have. And the other and I don't know if you ever watched Jeopardy, but when people start to like lose and they lose bad,
Yeah.
they also like forget everything,
Right.
but
get
they still try
flustered.
to answer in and they get flustered. And at one point, he had $38,000 and the other 2 people were both in the red.
Yeah.
And it was crazy.
Well,
But,
that's because the guy's probably so fast at buzzing in that they can't even get in, and then now they just try to get in on anything, and then they
On
don't even know the
anything.
answer.
And then they're clicking in and they're like,
I don't know.
and then
I don't know this shit. I don't know this
yeah.
table tennis question.
Exactly. It's insane. It's like really crazy to watch. So I've been watching it. I've been watching every episode that he's on because I like it's fun to watch a master at Jeopardy. Like he's
Sure.
already the 8th highest grossing player.
Speaking of Masters of Jeopardy, Wombat, did you
Yes.
know that Shanafan is developing a Jeopardy game for us to play to celebrate our 700th episode?
No.
And we're going to play it live on Twitch.
Awesome. I did not know that.
I think I'm allowed to say that.
Cool. Did you see how I segued into something?
But you didn't even know.
I did know. That's the thing. You see how this is
You
how
can't
good
take credit.
we are.
Okay, we're vibing
Yeah.
and flowing. Hustle and flow?
Yeah.
The opposite of hustle and flow. What's that?
Flow and hustle.
Sit and talk.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some show feedback from shows past.
Sure. Spruce says, love the show. Have listened since the first episode. The show is rather special to me as I enlisted in the Air Force the same month it began. I've been listening to Cheapy and Shipwreck belittle Wombat the entirety of my service. I must say the best part of each show is when Wombat makes an attempt at a joke and the other hosts simply ignore it.
It's usually it's too intelligent. and
Highbrow.
Too highbrow. It's right
Yeah.
over our head. We miss it.
Yes, that's what it is.
Sometimes.
So there. He also says, however, as much as I understand Cheapy's stance and agree about his opinion on table tennis being an excellent workout, what does he think about a 12-year-old competing at an Olympic level? No disrespect. This is where the disrespect comes in. But for comparison, is a 12-year-old ever going to compete with a LeBron in any other sport?
Okay, I understand totally what Spruce is saying, and I have the perfect answer for his question. You can't table tennis is not a physical sport in that way. Even though you're hitting a ball with a racket, the ball is so light that it doesn't matter that much if you're 200 pounds or 100 pounds. The skill level matters more. Now, much like gymnastics, for example, where you have a lot of young athletes competing at the highest levels, where, in fact, once you get too old, you can't even do that shit anymore. So, yes, there are sports where you're physical and you're just not strong enough. But table tennis, you don't need to be, super strong because the ball is so light. And in this case, this 12-year-old, I think that was a girl from Syria. She wasn't that good. She lost right away. But that's not to say.
Take that.
And now she's in a gulag.
No, but this kid from Japan, Harimoto, started, and he was dominating at 14. And now he's older and he continues to dominate. But the reality is, it's just, even though it looks like tennis, the ball is much heavier in tennis. So you need real strength to power through. Or table tennis, you need the strength to do the form properly.
I don't know that I'd say it looks like tennis.
Well, you're hitting a ball with a paddle. You understand what I'm saying? The form is similar.
I don't
to tennis.
get too confused when I watch them.
Okay, but I'm saying in terms for this guy's comparison, he's like a 12-year-old would not compete. Well, now in tennis, you had Coco Graf. How old was she? She's 14, 16.
It happens in women's sports more often, just because girls mature faster than boys physically.
Okay, but anyway, I think I've made the point.
You've convinced us all.
I
don't know what you convinced us of.
I already forgot what we were talking about.
I don't know.
It requires skill, not so much strength. The strength really comes from being able to move your body to do the actions properly. Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
What else we got here, Wanda?
Sure. This is from culled from YouTube. Media Skate. Miata Skate. There we go. I got it.
The car.
Yeah, it took me a second.
I know the car's with a T. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And this is in regards to my issues with Flight Simulator on the Xbox. Wombat, did you download the additional texture packs available on the Flight Simulator menu? Download those. Should make your game look a lot better. This game also is heavily reliant on what your internet connection is like. Now, I have a gigabit of internet in my house.
Don't brag.
I just did. It's too late. And my Xbox is wired. So I'm not even using Wi-Fi. So it's usually running some pretty ding-dang good internet.
So get the texture packs.
And I did download all the texture packs.
Oh, you had already?
Yes.
Oh.
So let me tell you something about this game, though, that I noticed in between this show and the last show. We wanted to see Las Vegas. So we went to Las Vegas. And in the daytime, you can fly through the Las Vegas Strip. And it has all the posters up. It's Penn and Teller and David Copperfield and all the hotels and the pyramid. And it's cool. It's really cool. And then we're like, ooh, let's see what it looks like at night with all the lights.
Hookers.
No, it's not there.
What?
There's no strip if you try to fly through Las Vegas at night.
Why?
I think maybe it's just because of all the lights. It would be too taxing. So it's just not there at all. And I posted something about it on Twitter, and one other person confirmed that they also tried to fly through Las Vegas at night, and it's not there for them either. And apparently it's not an issue on the PC version of the game, just the Xbox version of the game.
So it's basically useless.
I think so. I just thought it was sort of weird. Again, maybe there's a listener out there who's like, no, I flew through Las Vegas at night. Here's what you got to do. But I don't know.
Got a PC. Just wait for them to fix it. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, I just thought it was sort of weird.
Don't worry. The game will be taking up 200 gigabytes on your hard drive soon enough. Just hang in there. It's almost there.
The brightest spot on the planet Earth is not available in this game.
Right. It'll get there. They're taking over your hard drive.
I guess so. Something else has to. Right now, it's still Marvel's The Avengers.
I was going to ask about that. It's coming up. It's coming up.
I know. It's I can't delete. Can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Wakanda,
you
mean?
can't. Yeah, Wakanda's almost here.
I can't wait to, look at all the default costume for Black Panther, which looks awful. They put freaking football shoulder pads on the King of Wakanda. And there's a whole bunch of extra costumes that they've already showed that look really nice. that'll probably cost about $10 each, and will never see my console.
The beer situation in the chat says that he's tried both Microsoft Flight Simulators on Xbox and PC, and he said it's significantly better on PC. It's a poor experience compared to PC. What he says.
I believe you,
but
and
I'll tell you because this game is really unique in how it runs. It's like it's really running in the. You know how they talked about games running in the cloud for like fucking years. I think this is the only game that actually is doing that. And so I remember on PC.
No, you fly planes in
both. It's doing it in all senses. On PC, when it came out, it took a while for them to get it really working properly. So I think just have a little patience. But until then, we should watch this, boys.
Okay. Now, am I starting off with the dumbest thing I watched last week?
I mean, yes, why not?
Okay.
Whatever you want to go with.
I watch, and actually there's like a literally maybe a month span between me watching 2 episodes of this show on Netflix. It's called Sexy Beasts.
We're familiar.
It's the dumbest thing on Netflix.
And you're watching
for some reason, I couldn't sleep last night. Like I got into bed and I just couldn't sleep. And I'm like, what's something on that's so inanely stupid that I'll just like drift off to it?
Yeah.
And I put on the second episode of Sexy Beasts. And I watched the first episode to see if, like, is this thing for real? And I'm like, yeah, I guess so. And then the second episode I put on and I'm like, yep, still stupid. And
wait, you skipped ahead to the second episode?
No, I watched the first episode.
Oh, okay.
Like when it first came out, I watched the first episode.
Got it.
Like,
Got it.
And I'm
checking
like,
back in.
Yeah, I'm like, this is dumb. I never need to watch it again. And then there I was 3 weeks later watching the second episode.
And
it's still dumb. It's dumb. And here's a couple of reasons why. First of all, they put like fake chins and noses on the people, but you can still get a kind of an idea, at least on the women, what the women look like.
Aren't they all hot anyway, or no?
And everyone is hot. It does not matter.
And don't most people watch shows like that because they just want to look at hot people? They don't. And if they're all wearing masks, that kind of.
I mean,
I don't know.
Then at the end, they take the masks off. And it's like, look, I've been hot the whole time. I'm like, yeah, I know. Because they made sure to give you a costume where it was literally your boobs. Just like this. No matter what the costume is. Oh, look, I'm an elf with giant boobs.
That's so they get people to watch.
What's your costume? Oh, I'm a cantaloupe smuggler. Can't you tell by my... So
I'm a centaur with a giant horse penis.
Exactly. Look at my giant wang. So yeah.
I will admit to being interested in F-Boys on HBO Max, but I didn't last even 3 minutes.
That's fair.
I mean, I jerked off and came really fast. That's what
okay. So yeah, I understand.
Yeah. No, it's as soon as I heard it was 3 girls and like 20 guys, I was like, this ratio is bad. I'm out. I'm already out. I'm like not interested. Like if it's gonna be dumb, I need more than 3 different ladies and 20 guys. I mean, it's probably for women, I guess, that show.
Is it? I don't know.
Because most guys aren't gonna watch a show called F-Boys, probably.
I mean, I had no interest.
Most straight guys, anyway, I would think.
Yeah. I haven't
but I tried. I did try. What else have you been watching?
I watched all 6 episodes of Watch the Sound with Mark Ronson. That is the music documentary on Apple Plus.
Yes, I saw that. I thought about watching that.
You would like it. Because
it's like sampling and things, right?
Each episode tackles a different subject, and one of the episodes is on sampling. There's an episode on drum machines. It's a lot of stuff that you're interested in, GP. That's why I think you would like it.
Do they have one on auto-tune?
They do have one on auto-tune.
Perfect.
There's also an episode on distortion. So
all right. I don't want to push any more buttons.
That's okay. So yeah, there's episodes and all, but yeah, and he talks to everybody. He has a giant ego, that Mark Ronson. Yeah. Oh. But I also feel like sometimes it's like, oh, this is why he has a giant. He also seems to be really talented as well. So
I heard him interviewed on Howard Stern, and they are supposed to be working on a song together, but that never actually came to happen.
That doesn't shock me too much. But yeah, it's very interesting. I highly recommend it. I think you would really like it. I know you don't usually like music documentaries, but it's not really a classic rock one like
Yeah,
I usually do.
It looked cool.
Yeah,
It did.
it's odd that you watched this one, bet.
Well, I watch it because I was interested in it, obviously, but also, and it was new, and I'm like, oh, who's he talking to? He does talk to like Paul McCartney. You might be familiar with him, and some of the Duran Duran guys are on there too, which I thought was kind of cool.
With Durans?
Both Duran and Duran, particularly on the keyboard episode, and Gary Newman. He talks to him.
Okay, we've hit the classic rock portion of why
Right.
you watch this. Okay.
Oh yeah, no,
got it.
yeah. But then he also talks to people that I had never heard of before, like King Princess, who I didn't know, but now I'm a fan of. So there's that.
Nice.
So,
What else?
I also watched a classic rock documentary on Hulu. It's called Robbie Robertson and the Band, I think is what it was called. It's a Robbie Robertson documentary.
Good name.
Robbie he is the one of the founders of the band. He also wrote pretty much
Also a
all their
good name.
songs. Yes. He pretty much wrote all their songs.
They basically just came up with good. He wrote the song.
He wrote the song for
Okay.
the band.
And his name is Robbie Robertson.
And his name is Robertson.
His name should have been like first name, last name.
His name is first name, last name. So, and it goes through, and it literally, it's a really good one if you're interested. It's a really good classic rock documentary. It's a little self-indulgent because he made it himself with Ron Howard and Martin Scorsese. Yeah, it's a lot of like, look how great I am and look at all this great stuff I did. And if you know any of the behind the scenes stuff from the band, Levon Helm, who sang most of their famous songs, did not write the songs. And when he died about 8 years ago, he was completely penniless. And Robbie Robertson is worth like $50 million and lives in a mansion in Malibu. So there's that whole thing going on,
Right.
where what was the rest of the band? What are they really owed? Did he screw them over, basically?
Like Liberty DeVito.
Like Liberty, yes, it's a Liberty DeVito, Billy Joel situation, but bigger. Because imagine if Liberty DeVito actually was the songwriter who made all the money,
Right.
and Billy Joel was the one who
just played the piano.
who just played the piano and sang.
Yeah.
And that's what this documentary is, and that's why it's so interesting. And then you have people like Bob Dylan who's on it, who's like, well, Robbie Robertson is a genius who knows how to write songs. That's not his fault. Sorry, Levon. So yeah, interesting. I recommend that if you're into that kind of stuff, like not just the history of rock and roll, but also the business.
Nice. What else?
I watched Jungle Cruise. None of you guys watched Jungle Cruise?
I saw the billboard today in Manhattan.
Great. Jungle Cruise is good. I like Jungle Cruise. Do you
The
like
Rock
the ride
is-
Jungle Cruise?
I like the ride, the Jungle Cruise.
I like
All
The
right.
Rock.
I like the Rock.
All
I
of
like
these
when he
things are
goes
adding
like,
up.
does he go like this with his eyebrow?
No, he does not look like Popeye. I don't think once in the movie.
Like that, I think.
He's got kind of like a Popeye get up going a little bit.
I'll have to take off my glasses.
Mm. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
sure he does that. In the
It's
movie.
good.
I
It's
don't
really
remember.
good. Like Jumanji
It's
quality.
It's a less joke heavy than Jumanji. Certainly,
Mm.
it's more like it's a lot like Pirates of the Caribbean.
I heard it's basically the exact same plot as Pirates of the Caribbean.
It's very similar, but I'm fine with that. Like it similarly, like I compare it to The Mummy. It's a fun adventure movie, right? Like it feels very retro.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. There is this weird thing though, like there's like this acoustic version of Nothing Else Matters, the Metallica
Okay.
song.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That plays at the beginning and then it like comes back in the middle of the movie, and it's just bizarre. It's like what's like everything else is just like typical like score of a movie, and then you've got this acoustic version of Nothing Else Matters that is fine. It's just like I'm like searching for a reason. Like, why is this here?
They
And a
got to
movie
really.
that takes place during World War One.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Does it? Yeah,
Yes.
I guess it does. Yes.
Does.
They had a really good deal on the song rights, but they had to use it like 4 times.
Yeah. I don't know. I sure.
It was buy one get 3 free.
It's a fun.
Is it
movie.
is it Metallica or is it like a cover that's acoustic?
I think Metallica recorded it for this. I'm not sure.
Oh.
I'm not positive. But I think they got in and made this version for the movie. I mean, it's Disney. They're not like They either worked with Metallica or somehow
Right,
Metallica was involved with this.
Yeah. They didn't skimp probably.
Mm-hmm. But
It
it was good. I liked
all
it.
right.
Jungle Cruise.
But should I watch that with my family, or is it too like?
You could
Kitty.
probably wait for it to be like part
I'd
of your
wait for it just to
subscription.
be on the normal
free one.
subscription for you.
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't need to pay for that shit.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. It's not going to be anything that you're like going to be blown away by. But
You have Suicide Squad to watch this weekend.
Exactly. We saw the ads for that in the city too today.
I bet Ty wants to see that.
He does, but he doesn't know. Like myself, he doesn't know who any of the characters are. He's like, "Who's that guy?"
I think that's the point.
Okay, good.
You're supposed to go into this blind.
I said, I'm assuming that most of these guys are going to die during the movie, and that's because that's kind of the point. And because all the marketing says don't get attached. So I'm assuming like at least half of the characters are going to die.
Well, you've seen the first one, right?
I did, but it was bad.
It's bad.
It's one of the better DC movies.
That's
it's one of the most
saying much.
watchable DC movies.
Great.
It's one of the most watchable DC movies.
Did I text you from that one? I can't remember. Did I text you while I was watching that one in the theater by myself? I can't.
Maybe.
No, wasn't that the one with the Joker shows up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I texted you when the Joker shows up.
That seems like something that would happen.
But this one does it still have a perfect 100 on Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, they allowed to post the real reviews yet?
I don't know. Hey, it got 42 perfect scores. I'm just saying.
Right. Of the ones that said, oh, yeah, you can post that because you gave us a perfect score.
Right. That seems reasonable. 42 perfect scores. All right. Is that it for our Watch This, boys?
I think so.
Maybe we should do a word from our sponsor?
Sure. So we'll hear from our friends at Mack Weldon. Cheapy, you're a busy guy.
I am so busy.
Yes. So stop thinking about what to wear and just embrace the radically efficient Mack Weldon daily wear system. The daily wear system is a selection of clothes rooted in smart design, made with performance fabrics and built to work together. From breathable t-shirts and polos to stylish button-ups and shorts, underwear, and beyond.
Wait, there's a system now?
Yes, it's a system.
Oh my
Listen,
God.
it's important.
Okay, I'm trying to learn about the system.
The tables are my job. Mack Weldon makes it easy for you to dress for work, leisure, and play, or wherever your summer takes you. I love Mack Weldon. I wear Mack Weldon underwear every single day of my life.
I'm trying to learn about the system.
Now. I'm giving you my personal. I know you love the Ace sweatpants and Ace sweat shorts. I do too. I also have the Sunday pants, which I also really enjoy. So, I love Mack Weldon. For the ultimate lazy Sunday.
I'm wearing them inside out, I think. Oh, no, I'm not.
The Ace sweat shorts have modern tailoring and pair perfectly with their ultra soft, ultra upgraded Pima tees. For weekend travels, both near and far, their silver knit polo and radius shorts are the perfect high-tech, highly packable combo. Buy some time this summer with Mack Weldon's daily wear system. For 20% off your first order, visit MackWeldon.com/CAGcast and enter promo code CAGcast. That's MackWeldon.com/CAGcast, promo code CAGcast for 20% off. Mack Weldon, radically efficient wardrobing.
System.
Eddie Munster ruined my
System.
table.
This is the Mack Weldon system. Please attach your underwear to your socks.
I thought we finished the...
No, you did not mention the system. It is my job to ensure that the system is covered. All right, we can move on now.
Can we please? We talk about them new releases.
Oh, the wrong button.
Let's.
That's okay.
Do you have a new
I meant
release
to do
button?
that. I don't have any new releases. You're the one who has the new releases.
Oh, I didn't know I have a button.
The shipwrecks button.
Oh, I do. It's over there somewhere. I don't remember what button it is.
Nice.
It's one of those buttons.
It's time for CAG Foreplay, starring the shipwrecks.
We did it. Blaster Master 03. I like those Blaster Master games.
And that's based on the Stevie Wonder song, right?
No, it's not.
No,
Oh.
it's based on the villain from Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Mm-hmm. No.
Oh, next. Those are the only two I'm interested in.
Oh. Have you guys never played a Blaster Master game?
I have.
I'm familiar.
Okay.
On the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Same.
Yeah, that was Blaster Master 1.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, this is, I guess, before 1 still. Not quite there.
This is on the Atari 2600.
It's I played Blaster Master 0. I think I played a little bit of 0 2. They're fun games. They're making a lot of Blaster Master prequels now. We're at, up to 3 already.
There's
So,
money in that Blaster Master.
There must be. It rhymes, you know.
Who run Bartertown? Who run Bartertown?
Blaster Master? Master
Say louder.
Master Blaster?
Master Blaster what? Master Blaster runs
for the Switch
Bartertown.
this week, we have Easy Flight Simulator.
Easy Flight Simulator?
Yeah.
And it's only $5. I bet.
It's only $5. Easy
Now-
Flight Simulator.
Do you think they have the Vegas Strip at night?
They probably do.
I agree.
I'm gonna guess they probably have it.
Most likely.
Probably the same thing.
I've heard good things about Eldest Souls, even though the name sounds like it's either Elder Scrolls or a Souls game.
Right.
Yeah. What is Eldest Souls? I don't know this one.
I think it's like a roguelike similar. I mean, I know Hades comes out next week, so they probably released this at the wrong time.
Is there ever a
Xbox,
roguelike
but-
that you don't hear good things about?
I know, right? I
everyone's
was gonna
"Oh, yes,
say-
we finally got a roguelike. It's like there's one every week.
I know. There's like one all the time. I feel like this should be like a dead genre already, right? Can we be done with it?
No, they're
And yet-
fun though.
I'm
People
still
like
gonna
to
play
die.
Hades. I'm still gonna play Hades next week.
Of course you are.
So, yeah.
Sure, it's on Game Pass. Why
That's
wouldn't you?
good.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got here? We have Alfonso's Arctic Adventure.
Yep. I'm not gonna. I don't know about that one.
I don't either. I'm surprised it's the first one.
Oh, we have the Ascent.
It's a triple A game, you see.
No, it's not.
Alfonso's Arctic Adventure.
Oh, I get it.
Uh,
Oh.
What about the
Mhm.
Ascent? That's a new release.
The Ascent. That's a good game.
I played a decent amount of the Ascents. Not like a ton, but a decent.
No, I've
amount.
played about 2 hours of it. It is very good.
Yep, that game's
is
fun.
It is a Diablo type thingy.
Twin
kind of.
stick shooter.
Not twin stick. Kind of.
Kind
You're-
of.
You're using triggers still.
Twin stick trigger shooter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you playing co-op with Mrs. Shipwreck?
I am not. I'm not opposed to that, but I just have not yet.
What about you, Wombat?
No, I'm not playing co-op with Shipwreck's wife.
Do you have any idea how the co-op works? Because I find it very confusing, and it sort of made me not want to play the game. Because
I don't think. I don't think co-op in this game is recommended. To be honest, I think it's there, but
it's just weird. Like if I have a game and I start a co-op game and I use my single player save, but then I want like Ty to join me. He's got to have his own character, so he's got to start his own single player game, and then
That sounds right.
okay, but then if he plays my game, is he leveling up in his game? No, it's only in our co-op game he can stay leveled up. Wombat's nodding yes, which isn't helping the audio only listeners.
I don't know. But you keep responding. I didn't want. You're talking.
I'm on a roll. Okay, so what you're saying, what I said is true. So
Yeah.
but that's not. I don't feel like that's a great way for it to work.
It isn't. But this game was made by 12 people.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's a pretty impressive game for 12 people. They made a really nice world.
It looks awesome.
It looks awesome. The map system is a little wonky. The waypoint system could be a little bit better. I mean, these are like nitpicky things that could be fixed in a patch. But overall, it's a fun game. It's unique enough.
If you like
Or-
to walk backwards and shoot forward,
Yeah. Then have
Yeah,
I
this
got
is-
the game
this is
to
your
And
game.
roll.
I do
Roll.
like that thing where you pull the left trigger and the gun goes and you pick the gun up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if there's a guy hiding behind cover, you could shoot over the cover. I kind of like that. That's kind of cool.
yeah, it's a well done game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
enjoying it.
I played it with Mrs. Chibi, and she noped out of it pretty quick. It's too hard for her. She's not that
He
adept.
doesn't like going backwards and shooting forward.
No, not at all. She doesn't really like shooting much of anything. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe I could carry her somehow. I should have put it on easy and then just. Anyway.
I don't think there is easy.
Oh, isn't there? There's not. Oh. It's cool though. The ascent is really cool, and I heard it's only like 10 to 12 hours, so
I don't know. Yeah,
it's attainable. That for me and Ship at least.
It's a fair. Yeah,
Right.
It's like a small game.
It's too short for Wombat. Wombat will
It's too
finish.
short. Yeah.
All right, Wombat finished
No,
it.
I feel like
I finished it while you were talking.
Yes.
I feel like I'm getting good progression in like the short sprints that I'm playing it. So
Okay.
there's my character's leveling up at a good.
Does he look like
good
an
rate.
asshole? Because my character looks like.
Oh,
a major league.
absolutely. That's how I made him.
I
just
know.
kept on
No,
hitting
yeah.
the random button, and so I'm
That's
like,
what I did.
"Yep, that's my dude right
That's
there."
the asshole I want. Oh no, this game is designed where you need to. If you don't look like an asshole, you are not playing the Ascent correctly, and that's part of the reason why I like.
I think I'm like hot pink and green or something too. Is my look.
Yeah.
It's good.
I am purple and yellow, so I guess I play for the Lakers. I guess. Yeah.
I guess if you find red stuff, your character goes red, then you get some bonuses or something though, right? Too.
Oh,
Like I was
don't
reading
know.
like little tips on the screens.
Yes. Yes. Something about that.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got? Anything?
I think that's everything in new releases.
Okay.
I don't see a
Yeah,
whole
it's a
lot
fairly
out here.
slow week.
Fine.
I mean, there was only like
But you heard the music.
I did. I stopped.
You don't have to stop. You can talk over the music. See?
No,
I'm
I'm
talking over the
gonna be
music.
respectful of the music. I'm not gonna talk
Oh.
over this music.
Fucking talk right over that
Like
shit.
Good-
it's
good
like
music.
some kind of barbarian would be talking over this music.
I'm gonna beep over it too.
What was
what are
that?
you
Are we
doing?
getting breaking news?
Morse code.
Is
I was saying, where's my song?
this the video for one? Is this an all Metallica episode?
Yes, yes. Yeah, here we are. Wombat's Fortnightly News.
All right. Blizzard President J. Allen Brack is stepping down, which is said in quotes because really I believe he was shit canned. Isn't that what the
He was
Where's
told
he
to
doing?
step down, probably.
yeah? He's like, hey, you know what you should do? Step down.
Now.
Mm-hmm.
He's the Cosby Suite guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. I know a lot of people upset that Bobby Kotick isn't stepping down, but it doesn't seem like a realistic thing to happen.
No, I mean the amount of power he has in that company and the amount of money he makes is insane. And at this point, I don't think I'm sure he still cares about the money. Don't get me wrong, but I think he likes the power as much as the money at this point.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's not going to happen.
Right.
Also, there's now what is it? Co-directors. There's two heads now, so it's not a president though. I think their title is director, which I thought was interesting.
And the idea that what people are saying is that this is like a way to sort of fold Blizzard into the rest of Activision, just make it another studio instead of like a different culture.
I'm sure that's part of it as well.
But then again, the culture was fucking Cosby Suite. So maybe that's like, you're supposed to be mad at that? I mean, it seemed like the culture wasn't that great.
Well, if you recall last week, we talked about the outside counsel that Activision hired, and I mentioned how terrible they are. And then the Activision employees wrote a letter this week saying that they don't agree with the outside counsel, and that if they need to find someone that reflects the interests of the workers, not the interests of Bobby Kotick.
Michael Cohen's available.
Yes, there you go.
Well, yeah, that is. So well, I don't know.
We'll keep an eye on this one.
People will keep complaining and nothing's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. But
Thank you, Wombat, for keeping us.
keep you posted.
Yeah, keep us posted on this one. That way we don't miss any of
I am-
the
No.
breaking news about this.
I'll be the official court reporter for the show for the
Mhm.
CAGcast on the Activision.
This just in, it still sucks.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Thank you. I'm having so much
ships
fun.
at sea.
I'm having so much fun with this box.
News flash.
Yes. What else?
San Jose,
Oh.
California. Activision Studios. Blizzard has a new director. Who are the new co-directors at Blizzard? J. Allen Black is stepping down. It seems as though the Cosby Suite is no longer sweet for Mr. Black.
Pretty good.
Thank you.
Where are we here? Oh, there's a new season of Apex Legends. I've been playing a lot of Apex Legends.
So how's the new season of Apex Legends?
Well, first I want to say that I got to level 101, I think, of the battle pass for the last season. All at the end, like the last 3 weeks. So I didn't make it to the end though. It's 110 is the end.
Oh,
So
that sucks.
I know, but it was just like some stupid emblem and a skin that on a gun I don't care about. So I don't feel too bad about that. The new season has a new character named Seer, who I unlocked with my Apex Legends currency.
Sear like a steak or sear like sees things?
The second one.
Okay.
But he looks exactly like Little Nas X, including like the cowboy hat and like the belly shirt. Like
Interesting.
it's ridiculous. Like I just, he came up on the screen. I'm like, they licensed his image, like, and I think the character's gay. I don't know, but he wears a belly shirt and he's a guy, so that's something. That gives you some hints. And one of his skins is like tiger skin. You know,
cool.
Tiger print. That's what I use when I play as him.
Of course.
Yeah.
He's like a tracker. I haven't really like figured out how to use his abilities effectively. I mean, I only played like for a little bit, but it seems good. Like that's a good free game, Apex Legends. If you're looking for a good free game,
Hey,
that's one.
I'm still playing.
Oh, Fortnite, but people have played that.
Ariana Grande came out today for Fortnite.
Ariana Grande.
Yeah, and that's actually her. They don't just pretend it's Ariana Grande.
Right.
They charge. They're charging close to a grande for this for her skin, but
is she a much smaller hitbox?
It might be
because she's a really tiny person.
I understand, but it is what it is.
Isn't there
the concert's on Friday?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So that's her concert. Is that the deal?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was going to ask you about that because I heard there was something. What's that called again?
The Rift event.
Do they have any DJs that I would like, or this is not
it's
that
just
type
going to
of
be
music?
Ariana Grande. It's going to be like the Travis Scott thing.
I like Ariana Grande.
I know, you should check it out. I think you'll like it. Shipwreck, you could skip it.
I like Ariana Grande.
So did you go too? I'm
still gonna skip it. I don't like Fortnite.
Right.
There you go. Well, you don't do anything. You just stand there and
It's
watch
fun.
the concert.
Perfect.
For 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's gonna probably be like 45.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot of songs.
I don't know. Maybe it won't be that long. I'm trying to remember how long the Travis Scott thing was.
It's
that
like
was
10
good.
minutes. It's like 10 minutes, dude. Yeah, it's over. Like he walks on some buildings. He sings like a medley of like 3 songs. It's over. I mean, it was cool as shit. Like, but I wanted it to last a lot longer.
It was pretty baller.
They're all
Travis
good.
Scott
Like
one.
I like. Yeah, they're fun. But it helps if you like the music, I guess. But everybody likes Ariana Grande. All right, let's move on to Cheapy's Quest Corner now with extra wombat.
Yes.
And still no shipwreck.
No.
But only because he can't buy one because they've all been recalled because of the
face thing.
Which
we talked about last week.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
Aren't they all like they're just sitting there at Target?
Oh.
In Walmart.
Oh.
Just right there.
Right.
They'll sell it to you.
Okay. But
Yeah, and
hold
then
out for a deal.
Yeah. I was actually, they were kind enough over at Bithell Games to send me a code for Arcsmith, which came out last week.
I got a code too.
Have you played it?
I played a little of it, and Ty played a little of it. Ty spoke very, very highly of it. Ty played more of it than I did. And he was just like, I saw him on the couch, and he was sitting on the couch like he was really putting something together. And I knew immediately, I'm like, oh, you're playing Arcsmith. Yeah.
And Arcsmith, that is what you are. You are an Arcsmith, which is like a futuristic blacksmith. And you have to build these machines to help, I guess, the war. Sounds good enough. And you're building these items, and it's like you have these blocks that are sort of Lego-ish, and you have to put them together in the right way to make the item that's needed. And you have to be cognizant of the amount of power that each block has, and you have to put in heat sinks and batteries, and you have to make sure the flow of the power goes in the right way.
It's like a PS5.
Exactly. So there's a puzzle. That's where the real puzzle element comes into it, not just the putting of it together, but putting it together in a way where the item will actually work and not explode when you turn the power button on. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Ty seemed to think it was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And it had good good art, and it looked like a high quality production. You know, sometimes a lot of these VR games, even like my beloved table tennis game, like the graphics are just like so. This one looked real good.
Yeah, there's these, there's the senior Arcsmith, who's this big kind of very Star Warsy, even I would describe as this almost Epcot Center like character.
Right. Yeah.
That's talking to you. and there's also a robot that flies around that talks to you too. It's really cool.
Yep.
So it's a nice and immersive
Arcsmith.
sitting down kind of game. That's Arcsmith. I also picked up Pistol Whip. Finally.
Not a sitting down game at all.
Well, it's a standing up game, but it's not a moving around that much game.
But once you've just started playing. Are you playing on easy?
Yeah, right now.
Okay, so if you play on normal and just start even playing some of the other levels, your legs get a workout because you're going down.
Down.
Yeah, and it's quite a sweaty one.
I used my 30% off coupon for that one.
It's a great
That game is really cool.
It's really cool. You
That
feel like
game
a badass.
You're like on a moving sidewalk and you're just shooting a lot of people
To the beat of the music. And you get points for shooting them on the beat, and you should definitely bump that difficulty up because you'll burn calories for sure.
Yep. So it's fun, and I like that it tells you how long each song is before you start it. So I'm like, okay, this is 3 minutes. I got time for that.
It's just like Guitar Hero in that way, and it'll tell you like how strenuous it is too, like how difficult. Pistol Whip's like one of the best games out there for VR. Let's move on to Microsoft because there was big news. The Halo Infinite Tech Preview took place last weekend, and I was proactive enough to sign up for it and reactive enough to play it. So I did it all. I ticked all the boxes, and they did it. They made a Halo game, even though like it started off at just bots. You're fighting bots, but a certain day they turned on the full
Halo.
Not the full Halo, but playing against other people. And it did feel like Halo, and it's been a long time. It's been
how's the movement? I saw some videos of like people sliding around and stuff that look cool.
Little sliding, not as much as like Apex. There's like a slight slide when you duck and run. But everything feels really good. Like it felt great. Like
one of the reasons Halo is so good is because it feels really good to play.
The grenades, it's been so long since I played that the grenades are different than like really any other game. Like, there's no, what do you call that? Cooking, no cooking.
Right.
And you can't really throw them that far. And you gotta, it's different. It was just,
stick them to people's faces.
Yeah. I had a little difficulty with it. And it's such a big part of the game too, throwing the grenades. Anyway, I'm pretty excited for Halo. Please come out this year. Do not.
Awesome.
It's coming
this year. It's coming this year.
Let's all put our hands together.
Oh, you know what? Multiplayer is coming this year.
It's hidden. It's gonna be here.
Okay.
Multiplayer.
I don't know.
Yep.
I feel like everything's getting delayed.
Solo is coming out in February.
That's your prediction? That's the Wombat prediction? Is it coming in quick off the Telegraph?
Yeah. Attention, listeners.
I don't know if they can launch it like that.
You say hello. I say wait until February.
Well, they could though. He's right. Isn't there a free-to-play component of this?
Yeah, the multiplayer is going to be free to play. They're going to release that. That's what I'm saying. They're going to release that. My prediction is they release that first in November separately because that'll be ready. And the single player, which they restarted from scratch, will be ready sometime in February.
And no one would be mad really about that. Nobody is going to be mad about that.
And Spider-Man will be available for it in 2028.
Right. Shareholders would be mad if they did that.
But there's a lot of money to be made on the free-to-play one. I mean, yeah, you're not.
I mean, when you say
you're getting that money,
though, we're talking about Microsoft shareholders, though.
Yes, we are.
And I mean, but I feel like there's.
Are they assholes? What are you saying about Microsoft?
No, I think that yes, the video game end of Microsoft has obviously impacts the bottom line. But if they can make that up somewhere else in the Microsoft oeuvre of products.
No, guys, you're missing a huge point. No, you're missing a huge point. And it's even baked into the technical preview. They've got all the battle pass shit is all in there. So just because it's a free to play, there's plenty of money to be made there.
Oh yeah.
They gotta make a ton of money.
I don't think the shareholder problem is it's not like a Nintendo, Sony, or an Activision thing where this is all they've got.
Oh, it's definitely not all they got, but it makes it better if Halo comes out.
Yes, Christmas. It does, but I don't think they have to worry that much about the shareholder aspect of it.
And it's Game Pass. It's also Game Pass.
Worry about me.
It's Game Pass. No one's gonna pay. Who's paying $60 for it anyway?
No one.
I mean,
some people are.
I don't think there's a rush to get that paid component. I think Wombat is actually right for one. I mean, he's right.
What?
I would be surprised they launch it without
Okay.
the single player.
I
in
wouldn't be
November.
surprised. I'll say that. Wombat says that's going to happen. I'm going to say I'm not surprised. And Shipwreck said he would be surprised.
So we'll tune back in sometime around November and we'll see if I was right or wrong.
Exactly.
And if I'm wrong, you know what'll happen?
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
To be canceled.
I'll be canceled.
Anyway,
I'll have to delete my Twitter account.
the point is that Halo is still awesome and it's going to be really good. This was just like a taste. Like, it wasn't even enough there to like. I'm sure there's plenty of people who fucking played the shit out of that tech preview, like hours and hours. But to me, it was like meant to be played for like 20 minutes or 30 minutes and then go do something else. But it's awesome. Like, fired up. All right, we talked about how Hades is coming to Game Pass in August, but also Skate 3 and Katamari Damacy Reroll, which I will
that should be out. I think when people are listening to this.
Okay, I will probably download Katamari because it's been a long time.
Yeah, why not? I haven't played that in so long. I wonder if my kids would like that. I wonder if Sabrina would want to play that.
And that game actually,
my kids like it.
Of course,
we've played that.
Who could not like it? Who doesn't like that when they see that? Everybody loves it.
It's a little bit. It gets you a little bit motion sickness.
Oh, really?
A little bit. You can get motion sickness in that game.
That game actually had slowdown. When they had a lot of stuff on screen. So I'm curious to see what the reroll is like. I'm sure it's going to blow me away with its ray tracing.
Is this not the same game that's been out for
yeah
a while?
No, it's got ray tracing and bit mapping. I don't know. I've ran out of things to. God rays. Let's move on to Sony.
Sure.
I made fun of this tweet in the intro, but Sony revealed the requirements for their SSD. If you want to add an SSD drive to the inside of the PS5, they revealed what would work. And it was basically you need an SSD, a certain type of SSD drive, but also needs to have a heatsink, or they recommend a heatsink.
Recommended heatsink, yeah.
And then Mark Cerny, who is the engineer of the PS5, it was a weird tweet. And like, not to like pick on the guy, but it was his choice of words. He wrote, "Our solution to our very active 2-gamer PS5 household, his and her SSDs." Now, when you say there's a solution to something, that implies that you're solving a problem, or that there's some sort of a problem. In this case, the problem is the storage add-on costs, I don't know, was it like $250?
It all depends on what size.
If you get, right? Not going to bother for anything less than a terabyte, I would imagine. And that's probably like $250 or $220.
It's in the same region as what the 1 terabyte add-on is for Xbox.
Yeah. It's not like they're priced so differently. Anyway, the solution to the problem isn't just buying everything. That's just like saying, "Hey, I found the solution to owning a Ferrari finally. I bought a Ferrari. I just paid for it." That's just doing, that's just, not solving the problem. Anyway.
Also, and it's not even an elegant solution. It's expensive and inelegant. It's like the two things. Usually there's like a one or the other. Like, here's a solution we have that's affordable, but it requires you to do a lot of work.
It's not
Here's
that
a solution
bad.
that's
It's
really
not
expensive.
bad.
That's no.
Well, the way he framed it is bad.
The way he framed it is
drives that cost the same amount as the goddamn console is a lot of money.
I'm assuming he's got 2 PS5s.
I would assume he has 2 PS5s.
Not
and
swapping.
It's a one-time swap. Like, if the solution is actually unscrewing and taking apart and then putting a new hard drive in every time.
That's how I read it.
That's how I read it too. And I'm like,
but he's an engineer. He's not doing that.
The solution is.
I think he is. He says his and hers hard drives. He does not say his and hers PS5s.
You don't think this motherfucker's got 2 PS5s in his house?
I don't think he does.
Anyway, it's just like, I get it. He's an engineer, not a marketing guy, but it's just, you can't provide a solution to a problem that it's just the problem. I figured out how to avoid these big puddles walking to work. I just walk right through them. My feet get wet, but anyway, that's probably not the best.
No, that wasn't the best analogy.
No.
Sorry.
I enjoyed it though.
They can't all be winners.
Anyway, at Jeff Stryker writes in, he says, interested in Ship's thoughts on why expanding the PS5 storage seems so much more complicated than it had to be, and why they would design it like that from the get-go.
It's a minimum viable product design, right? So they got to a design where they knew what the limitations are, right? And it's the storage, right? Like, we're not going to have enough storage. So
same as Xbox had the same issue.
They both ran into the same issues. Like, we got to get the speed in this thing, but by doing that, we're not going to have the storage
because it would be too expensive for the customer. It's going
to be too expensive, right? So you have your price point you're trying to hit, and you have your design criteria that you're trying to hit. So it's a balancing act there, and what loses out is the one thing that you can replace is the storage, right? Like, it's something that somebody can replace either way, whether it's the Microsoft method of having the external proprietary one that plugs in, which is a pretty good solution in the short term, or the PlayStation 5 version, which it seems like you're going to have to do this multiple times throughout the generation, is my concern with it, right? Like, because
it's so expensive to just get a 1 terabyte one now.
Right. It's so expensive to get it. And it's not as simple as like, if he gave that solution for the Microsoft solution, it makes sense. It's like, oh, a his and hers that they just like swap out and put in the back. Yeah, that makes sense.
That totally makes it. That's the expensive yet elegant design.
Right. It's the okay. I can see how you designed for that.
It's like having multiple memory cards on your PlayStation 2.
Right. Yeah. But it has its limitations as well. But it's the actual solution if you take it in that manner. So it just feels like I'm not interested in expanding my PS5 storage because the prices are going to come down, and you're still going to run out of storage. Right? You're going to be fighting this storage war this entire generation.
Right. The games are going to be 100 gigabytes.
And I need to know what's in the locker before I buy it.
I don't know.
Oh, wrong storage wars. Sorry.
You never know what's in the storage locker before you buy it.
I know.
Yeah. So I don't know. And by the time that they fix this for the next generation, the loading times will be bad again or something.
Yeah. I think that's sort of in many ways the goal, to have games at the end of this generation that use this technology to the point where it's being pushed and the load times are going to come back again. And they're also going to take up half your hard drive. So you're going to be removing, like right now, I think I have 19 games saved to my Xbox. Whereas opposed to the old Xbox where I had close to 400 games saved because I had 2 external hard drives plugged in. But I have no load times on those 19 games. So
do you think that Sony could, when they redesign the PS5, they could redesign it with a proprietary hard drive solution in addition to a...
Could they? Yes. Are they going to? I don't think so.
You don't think they would bother? Because too many people would...
I think it depends. They
went this route for so many consoles now, right? It's like, oh, just take the thing apart and install a hard drive. Like, that's the architecture that they have.
That's how the PlayStation 4 was for a good chunk of it until they added in the external hard drive support.
That's how PlayStation 3 was, right? For generations now, we've taken apart and put in hard drives in all of these PlayStations. I think the PlayStation 2 was the one that it had one that went on the back of it, right? Mm-hmm. Or did we open up the PlayStation 2? We opened up too, right? It was the modem that went on the back.
The modem went on the back for sure.
Yeah, I think we opened up and put a hard drive in the PlayStation 2 as well.
They really want us hands-on over at Sony.
Mm-hmm. It's the architecture. They feel like that's the part that people were able to swap in if they want to. The majority of users probably won't even mess with it because they only buy a couple games a year.
Right.
And they just delete them when they're done.
It's an elegant solution for sure.
It's annoying. I don't feel like I have that much installed on these new consoles. Like,
it's over so quick. Like,
it's
no joke. On this Xbox, I just have the 500 gig between Call of Duty, Warzone, and my Flight Simulator. That's like
so you have the 1 terabyte, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you have 1 terabyte. Yeah.
Okay, but those 2 games, that's like 260
Mhm.
right there. 2 games.
Yeah, Avengers is 140 gigabytes.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
crazy. All right, let's move
And
on.
that's without Black Panther.
Right, that's gonna add on.
At least you don't have to worry about Spider-Man.
Right.
See a lot of gigs.
I don't think anyone does.
Right. He's not coming. They just said, the pandemic fucked up
They're
Spider-Man.
just gonna put Hawkeye in a Spider-Man costume.
I just can't believe that they once did a thing where they were like, we're gonna release a new character every month. Like every month, we're gonna put out another free character in this Avengers game. I'm like, you didn't have to say that.
They said that.
Yeah, they're like, we're gonna put out a free character every month was the launch plan, and then the game launched and it was sort of broken as crap, and they didn't come out with a character until February, and it was a C-list character, like not even Hawkeye, it was other Hawkeye.
Iron Man was already in there.
Wah wah, and I like that game. It fascinates me. Everything about the Avengers game.
Well, we're waiting on the Wakanda update. It's going to be a big. Everybody's
I'll
waiting.
probably play it when Wakanda comes out.
I'm gonna play it. I actually turned that game on.
Dash is into that game. Like, I did not turn that game on this week.
It is the best looking, worst looking game I've ever played. It's amazing how something could look so good and so bad at the same time. I still like everything about it. Fascinates me.
Well, enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to Nintendo. I got a quick Switch loot from Whipsmart Spank Bank. Bunny Bounce is out. Everybody knows it's the sequel to Beach Bounce, remastered, and Beauty Bounce. It's the staff at a beach resort, but this time the owner gets bonked in the head, and now all the hot chicks are animal hot chicks. So you know where this is going. No nudity and nice CG pieces. Suggestive art is semi-hot rating from Whipsmart Banky. And he says it's quite short, only 4 possible endings. Thank you to Gamazumi for the code.
All right.
There are no games in the Whipsmart Spank Bank queue right now.
Oh.
I know everybody's disappointed.
Oh.
I just think that it's great that the only thing that we ever have in our Nintendo section is just reviews of these games. It's just every week. It's just there's nothing else in the Nintendo section except for like the next Bunny Bounce game. And it's Nintendo, which makes it just that much better. All right, let's move on to the CAG bag. We got a few things to get through here, and then we can go to bed. At Tim Utley writes in, says, we've seen a number of companies produce retro consoles. Is there a retro console or handheld you'd like to see come out that hasn't received that treatment? What's left?
The TurboGrafx 16, that was handheld.
No, I think they. Oh, you're the handheld. What was that called?
I think it was just called TurboGrafx 16 also.
Was it? That doesn't sound right.
I know, but that's what I'm going with. It wasn't the Lynx. That was the Atari one.
Are you looking for that, or are you just naming something that hasn't come out?
I'm just naming things. No, I'm just naming things.
How about like a Bally Astrocade or Pong?
That was the Turbo was what that was called. The TurboGrafx Turbo.
The TurboGrafx Turbo.
Good name.
Or I will also say the Lynx. Because I honestly don't recall much about it other than that was a thing that came out.
It was heavy and I'm probably not, the games probably weren't that good. I'm thinking.
I'm pretty sure they were probably terrible. But
there were a couple good ones though, I bet. I feel like I remember playing some good ones.
The Atari Lynx being a thing.
Do you have any answer, Ship?
For it.
I don't know. Whatever.
He's got everything anyway. Bally Astrocade.
Keep them coming.
Yes, all of them.
I bought a pachinko machine.
Well, that was a while ago, right?
No, since last show.
Oh, and another one? Don't you have one?
Just one. No, I don't have. I have one now.
Oh. You don't have like a slot machine or something?
Oh, I have a slot machine.
Okay, well,
of course
it's not like I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm talking out of my ass here, right? All right.
No, I went to an antique mall and there was a pachinko machine. And I went, $50? That looks pretty good.
That's too cheap.
I'll get that. So I'm gonna fix that up. It's in really good shape, actually. But I had to buy it. It didn't have enough balls to weigh down the hopper to get it going.
Okay. So you gotta get some pachinko balls.
I've got some balls on order from from eBay. Got my
Nice.
pachinko balls.
Nice.
I've never played pachinko before, but I like the looks of it.
It's gambling.
Well, not if I'm the house.
Right. I'm just saying it's like a slot machine. There's no skill to it as far as I know.
Oh, no, but it's still fun to watch the balls.
Sure.
It's
It's mesmerizing.
It's plinko.
Yes, it is.
Mhm.
Wombat, this question's from at Hellsfire. He says, can we get Wombat's thoughts on the COVID-19 New York vaccine pass that was just announced?
Is it just announced, or is it the same Empire Pass?
It's a room. Well, I think he's referring to the rumor that the mayor is going to require this pass for indoor dining and/or gym activities in the city.
Yeah,
New York
but it's
City.
the same pass that I already
It's
have.
the same pass, I believe. I think
Okay.
that's what I think that's what he's referring to.
Like, I have the pass.
I just downloaded it yesterday. It was very easy to get. I was surprised. I was expecting a whole thing, but
Yeah,
it's just like you fill out like a few lines and then it just
Yeah, I would
automatically
show
sends
it,
to you.
but I don't want to show it on the.
No, it just sits in your Apple Wallet.
Yep. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, you should just get that.
Just get it. Yeah, you should have it
It's
because
easy.
you should be vaccinated, and if you're not vaccinated, you suck.
Yeah, I think it makes sense that you can require that for indoor dining and
Yeah,
gyms and, stuff.
Exactly.
Well,
It's
why
your
not?
business. It might be your body, your rights, but it's their business, their rights. So
Baba Booey.
you can't have it both ways, people.
Right. Let's see. This is from I am Nick Pedro. He says, what has Ship been playing on his backbone? How has the remote play experience been? I'm guessing he hasn't even used it.
No, I've been using it some. I've been playing some of the Ascent with it.
Oh, wow. Oh.
It's very tiny. Playing the Ascent with that is very, very, very tiny.
Yes.
I generally use it for like Apple Arcade stuff as well.
Oh, you just like slide your phone in there and.
Yeah. If it has controller options, you can play
Okay.
Apple Arcade games with it.
Oh.
So I use that, but I haven't. I've been playing like a match 3 game on Apple Arcade for a while. It's the Simon's Cat game. Are you
Oh, I
familiar
don't
with
know that.
Simon's Cat?
No.
Wait, the old cartoon thing?
Yeah, the little cat. Simon's Cat.
Maybe I don't know what it is.
You might. It's an internet thing, right?
Okay.
It was an internet
I'm
video,
Googling
and
it. I'm
then
Googling
it
it.
turned it. It's pretty. It's
I
not
don't
the
know
most exciting, not lame thing
I don't know
that I
it.
could be talking about.
I don't know.
It's a cultural phenomenon. Simon's Cat. Everybody knows Simon's Cat.
Not in part of my culture.
Mm.
So do you like the
match.
backbone? I think that's the question.
Yeah, Backbone's good.
Backbone good.
Backbone is cool. Like, it doesn't take batteries or anything. It's just, you just slide your iPhone into it, and then you have like a fully functional controller. It's good.
How much they get?
Sabrina has expressed interest in being able to play Game Pass games, via the cloud in the house. So that might be a good. Although she could also just use an Xbox controller. So can't you or no?
Well, what if she needs a screen of some sort.
Yeah. I don't know.
How much is a backbone?
A hundo.
Hundo. That's not bad.
Not bad.
Hmm.
All right. I think we made it to the end of the show. What do you think about that?
Simon's Cat.
Simon's Cat. Think about that. Let's remind everybody, if you're listening to this in podcast form, that you can come to twitch.tv/cheapassgamer and watch us on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern time, where you can watch Wombat nod when I ask him questions. And then you'll know exactly what's going on. He's nodding right now. And join the CAG Discord, discord.gg/CAG. And check us out on Twitch on Friday at 4 p.m. for Proper Modulation, where I made Curry Manju watch Bub Rub videos and other things. You know Bub Rub? Internet.
I don't know Bub Rub.
Oh,
I actually saw that for the first time when I was watching your show.
How is that possible? That was like a cultural phenomenon, I thought.
I
I must have watched that.
How was that possible that I watched your other show?
That's my Simon's Cat, Bub Rub.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the whistle tips and the whistles going woo. And also use Fortnite creator code Wombat5277 when you buy your V-Buck or whatever. I don't know what you're
When you buy your Ariana Grande.
Your Grande Pass with extra prize.
Yeah, when you get that back bling and the glider with the wings. You want it. You know you want it.
I don't.
No, you don't.
And what else?
Tonight's show is sponsored by Mack Weldon. Go to mackweldon.com/CAGcast and use promo code CAGcast for 20% off. Also, get vaccinated.
Excellent. Well, everybody, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. We're about to raid Jake, so let's get him.
Bread's done.